What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled Ranking United States Presidents by Aura. Let's see what this video is about.
Ranking United States Presidents by Aura. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, won a civil war, and grew the coldest beard in presidential history while doing it. S tier. In 1850, Zachary Taylor attended a 4th of July celebration at the Washington Monument. It was...
I'm not sure I know all the presidents of America. Well, obviously I'm not American, so I probably heard about them. But right now, if you ask me, I couldn't tell you a list.
Coldest beard in presidential history while doing it. S tier. In 1850, Zachary Taylor attended a 4th of July celebration at the Washington Monument. It was extremely hot. He consumed copious amounts of raw fruit and iced milk. 5 days later, he was dead. The 12th president of the United States potentially got taken out by cherries and milk. F tier. In 1912,
What? Can that happen? For eating a little bit of fruit? I feel so bad for him. Now I'm scared. Can that happen? How? Maybe he got like some type of like infection of some of one of the fruits or something, right?
Theodore Roosevelt was about to give a campaign speech in Milwaukee when a man shot him in the chest. The bullet lodged in his chest after being slowed by his steel eyeglass case and a 50-page copy of his speech. He refused medical attention, walked on stage, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether you fully understand that I've just been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose." He then proceeded to speak for 90 minutes with a bullet in his chest. S tier. Obama got bin Laden.
What? What? That's crazy. Nah, that's crazy. And how lucky he got. But damn. I'm just speechless. Now that's a president that I would trust, that wouldn't, you know, that would lead the country, you know? I mean, after all that, you speak for 90 minutes with excruciating pain.
Laden and hit a buzzer beater three-pointer in chest. S tier. Obama got bin Laden and hit a buzzer beater three-pointer in front of troops in Kuwait while wearing dress shoes. The only thing keeping him from S tier is that tan suit. A tier. William Henry Harrison gave the longest inaugural address in history in freezing rain without a coat because he wanted to prove he was tough. He died 31 days later from pneumonia. The Aura was actually there, but the execution was not. B tier. In 1943, JFK's PT boat got rammed by a Japanese destroyer in the middle of the night. Kennedy, despite a back injury, towed an injured crew member through the water for 4 hours by clenching the man's life jacket strapped between his teeth. They were stranded on an island for days. JFK carved a rescue message into a coconut that natives delivered to Allied forces. He kept that coconut on his desk in the Oval Office.
What? That's wild. Why have I never heard of these stories? That's wild.
As a paperweight. He also dated Marilyn Monroe. He also...
What? Lucky man.
In the Oval Office as a paperweight. He also dated Marilyn Monroe. He also gave mankind the moon. He also looked like a movie star while doing it. S tier. Joe Biden fell off a bike, fell up the stairs, fell down the stairs, called Zelensky President Putin, and then called Kamala Harris President Harris. He shook hands with ghosts and is probably the only president to get...
What was that handshake, Joe Biden? I just remember in the last election, I was watching some of the clips that were made out of it, and Joe Biden was like, looked like he was falling asleep and all of that. I don't know how much the clips were manipulated, but...
President Harris. He shook hands with ghosts and is probably the...
And I saw him fight with Trump about golf.
Only president to get lost on his own White House lawn. F tier. Franklin Roosevelt led America through the Great Depression and World War II. He did it all from a wheelchair that he hid from the public through pure force of will and clever photography. He created the New Deal, and one full of will and clever led America through the Great Depression and World War II. He did it all from a wheelchair that he hid from the public through pure World War II. He did it all from a wheelchair that he hid.
How? What do? Interesting.
From the public through pure force of.
Why would you hide that from the public though, to not seem weaker, or like what is the logic? Why? Why is there no presidents in wheelchairs, or is there?
Will and clever photography. He created the New Deal and won 4 presidential elections. A tier. James Garfield could write Latin with one hand and Greek with the other hand, simultaneously. Unfortunately, that did not stop him from getting assassinated by a guy who thought God told him to do it because Garfield didn't give him a job. He had a cool skill, but an unfortunate ending. C tier. George Washington voluntarily gave up power when he could have been king. He set the precedent for the peaceful transfer of power that lasted 224 years. He led a ragtag colonial army to defeat the world's greatest military superpower. He crossed the Delaware on Christmas to surprise attack mercenaries. He commanded more respect than anyone in the room. The original American with infinite aura. S tier. In 2023, Donald Trump got his mugshot.
I'm guessing that Donald Trump will be in a tier depending on, like, it's depending on, you know, opinions.
Infinite aura. S tier. In 2023, Donald Trump got his mugshot taken and turned it into the hardest presidential photo of all time. He then got shot in the ear and immediately stood up, pumped his fist, and yelled, "Fight, fight, fight," with blood running down his face. He had basically every major media outlet, prosecutor, and celebrity against him and still won the presidency twice. Whether you love him or hate him, the aura is undeniable. S tier. In 1981, Ronald Reagan was shot in the
Okay. True.
chest by John Hinckley Jr. As he was being wheeled into surgery, Reagan looked at the surgeons and said, "I hope you're all Republicans." When his wife Nancy arrived at the hospital, he said, "Honey, I forgot to duck." B tier. Ulysses S. Grant won the Civil War through pure will. He accepted Lee's surrender with such class he wouldn't let Union soldiers celebrate. He wrote his memoirs while dying of throat cancer, finishing days before his death. Mark Twain called them the best military memoirs since Caesar. He was a stone-cold stoic who let actions do the talking. B tier. James Madison is the father of the Constitution, 5'4" and 100 pounds soaking wet. He had to get saved by his wife Dolly when the British burned the White House. She rescued Washington's portrait while little James was running away. He had big brain energy, but when your wife has more courage than you, that's some mid-tier aura. C tier. In 1806, Andrew Jackson.
Did he actually save the painting?
Than you, that's some mid-tier aura. C tier. In 1806, Andrew Jackson let a man shoot him in the chest in a duel, then killed him with one shot. He carried that bullet next to his heart forever. He then beat a would-be assassin with his cane when both pistols misfired. He threw a White House party so hard he had to escape through a window. His face is literally on the $20 bill. S tier. Franklin Pierce saw his son die in a train wreck weeks before his inauguration. His wife thought it was God punishing his political ambition. He spent his presidency drunk. He tried to buy Cuba but failed. His own party didn't renominate him. It was the saddest presidential story ever told. F tier. Gerald Ford is the only president to never be elected as president or vice president. He was pardoned by Nixon to heal the country and killed his own career. He played football at Michigan, turned down NFL contracts, and still became known as the clumsy one after falling down Air Force One stairs. C tier. Bill Clinton played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall wearing sunglasses. He told America he did not have sexual relations with that woman, and somehow his approval rating went up. He survived impeachment and left office beloved. The man could sell ice to Eskimos and make them thank him for it. His smooth-talking Southern charm basically worked on everyone except his wife Hillary. B tier. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence at age 33. He was the founder of American democracy. He spoke.
I've been thinking about this lately, but all the presidents are usually older. Like, obviously it makes sense because, you know, the older you are, the more experiences you have and the more knowledge you've been able to acquire. But there is not many young presidents, like minus 50. Or am I wrong? I might be wrong. But why is that? Is it just because it's like more reliable to have someone more experienced and older? Probably.
Spoke 6 languages and invented the swivel chair. He founded UVA and he died on July 4th, exactly 50 years after the Declaration was put into action, the same day as John Adams. The original American Renaissance man, A tier. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the supreme Allied commander who defeated the Nazis. He warned America about the military-industrial complex on his way out. He built the interstate highway system. He integrated Little Rock High School by sending in the 101st Airborne. He was so respected that both parties wanted him as their candidate in 1952, the last president who could intimidate generals because he outranked them all. A tier. In 1962, Richard Nixon lost the California governor's race and told reporters, "You won't have Nixon to kick around anymore." He came back 6 years later and won the presidency. He opened China, created the EPA, ended the draft, then recorded himself committing crimes for some reason. Only president to resign. He gave a double peace sign while leaving in disgrace. The greatest comeback, followed by the most legendary fumble in political history. B tier. Ranking.
What crimes did he record? Interesting. I found that video quite interesting. A lot of these stories I haven't heard, which I just feel like I want to get a deep dive into all of them because they're all definitely quite interesting in their own way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this. Thank you for joining me for this video. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.